Hello and welcome to Samu Aran's channel. Today's video is about shamanic, energetic, and spiritual healing methods. It is important to note that the terms shamanism and shaman come from anthropology and ethnology respectively. It is a made-up word that attempts to unite spiritual and energetic healers with similar characteristics under a common term. Spiritual and energetic healing methods are extremely diverse and have a wide range of manifestations. These healing methods can be found in different forms around the world, influenced by cultural, social, religious, and historical factors. All contain basic elements that suggest that there is an intuitive knowledge of these mechanisms of action that transcends geographical, cultural, and religious boundaries. At their core, they have these commonalities: an intense connection to the earth and its flora and fauna, as well as a deep relationship with divinities, nature beings, and spiritual beings. Whether we give these entities human names such as angels, fairies, ancestors, totem animals, cherubim, god or goddess, is ultimately unimportant. It is not primarily about the names, but about powerful energies that healers can use in their work. This brings us to the central message of shamanic healing methods. The healer communicates and exchanges energy with natural and spiritual entities to maintain or restore balance in creation. Examples of imbalance include disease, mental chaos, environmental destruction, and wars. Shamans work in all these areas to bring about positive changes. They use a variety of methods. Particularly worth mentioning are spiritual rituals, such as magical rituals or spiritual journeys. Naturopathic remedies, plants, stones, fire, and water, as well as music, dance, and oracles. A healer needs a deep understanding of spiritual and earthly connections and their effects in order to be able to use all of this in his work. Shamans are aware that everything that exists is interconnected in a vast energy network. Everything was created by creative energy and is permeated by it to serve its purpose in a larger order. We are not separate from this energy network, but firmly anchored in it and thus connected to everything that exists. This principle forms the basis for the world understanding of a shaman, with which he approaches his tasks. The everyday and the non-everyday reality, this world and the next, Earth and cosmos and so on, are viewed and experienced as equal worlds of experience. A shaman is always a wanderer between the worlds, since the boundaries are fluid. He is a fence rider, Hagazus, who looks at cause and effect not only from an earthly perspective, but above all, takes the divine perspective. This fact places the shaman in a reality in which he can oversee energetic chaos and spiritual confusion. In the best case, he can transform these states and establish a natural and spiritual order. It creates synergies that mobilize both spiritual and earthly energies and bring about healing or enable mind, body, and soul to activate their self-healing powers. These healing methods do not only include spiritual work, but involve the entire creation. Although shamanic journeys into the other world, as well as healing, cleansing, banishing, and protection rituals are of great importance, the energetic healer recognizes the value of the abundance of natural resources for his work. For him, trees and plants with their energetic healing powers have the same importance as healing stones, healing clay, healing water, and metals. A shaman knows the healing power of natural treasures and uses them wisely. Here too, comprehensive specialist knowledge and expertise are required. Cosmic aspects are also part of the basis of his work, such as lunar and planetary rituals. Shamanic healing methods manifest themselves on different levels, be it metaphysical, physical, quantum physical, mental, or spiritual. In recent decades, interest in alternative healing methods has grown considerably. This development is very encouraging. One reason for this is certainly that, despite all the achievements in science, medicine, and pharmacy, people continue to become ill and die prematurely. There is no doubt that modern medicine has a lot to thank for. Many scourges of humanity, such as the plague, polio, and tuberculosis, could be combated or even eradicated. In the field of surgery, real miracles are performed, and especially in trauma medicine, we should be grateful that well-trained doctors and qualified hospital staff can carry out life-saving measures. However, it is also true that modern medicine is increasingly reaching the limits of its resilience and the limits of what it can offer. It should also be noted that the number of mental and psychosomatic illnesses has increased. This is related to the ecological, economic, social, and cultural structures of our social system. Ultimately, the entire healthcare system is also oriented towards economic and business aspects. It is therefore subject to the laws of capitalism, which leads to a largely two-tier healthcare system in Europe, a situation that is very questionable. However, there is also a positive development. More and more health insurance companies are becoming aware of how efficient and not least cost-saving alternative healing methods can be. In contrast to alternative healing methods, especially naturopathy, such as naturopaths and acupuncturists, shamanic healing methods do not receive comparable public support, although the WHO, World Health Organization, already in 1980 gave them the same importance as conventional Western medicine in the treatment of psychosomatic illnesses. There are good reasons for this. These are the healing successes that are achieved daily and worldwide through shamanic healing methods. However, it seems that there are good reasons for our Western European health system and its representatives to be ignorant, hostile, and often negatively reported in the media. It certainly has something to do with the fact that there are always so-called black sheep who cause trouble through charlatanry and exploit people with dubious promises, treatments, and rituals. But all this is sufficiently available in the state-supported health system, and not only there, but in almost all areas of society. It can therefore only be partially attributed to this background. Rather, it is related to the self-image of Western medicine, which is seriously convinced that to represent the best representative of medicine on the basis of conditionally valid scientific findings, a right that corresponds to a monopoly-like position and tolerates no competition. Such behavior is a sign of a very limited perspective and once again confirms the unrealistic nature of some Western ideologies and supposedly scientifically based worldviews. However, there is another important aspect which contributes to this negative attitude. It is the fear of treatment methods and worldviews that seem alien and incompatible with the concept of enlightened Western ideologies and economic interests. Shamanism, which is about 60,000 years old and represents the oldest healing system of humanity, has survived to this day, despite numerous persecutions by religions, governments, and ideologies around the world. How can that be? The answer is very simple, because his healing methods work excellently. Maybe one day we will realize that alternative practitioners, doctors, and therapists cannot replace shamans. Shamans are also not a substitute for alternative practitioners, therapists, and doctors. Together, however, they can complement each other and thus optimally serve the well-being of humanity. I draw courage and hope for my thesis from the fact that in many countries, even in Europe, there are initial approaches to equal cooperation. Furthermore, I have had the opportunity to experience such cooperation several times in my professional life, but always under the seal or cloak of confidentiality. But I can easily overlook that, because ultimately it is about the well-being of people, and not that of institutions or questionable human rules, for example, laws. If you enjoyed this video and the topic is close to your heart, like and share the video with others. Thank you and be blessed.